So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October 2020 Bluffton Area Chamber of Commerce meeting. I will attempt to be the wizard and go get through my agenda here at the same time. I'm Paula Scott. Sometimes I forget if I know, we all know each other this morning, but if anybody watching wonders who I am. We have a great program today. I have chamber announcements. We have a program from Derek Stemen of the United Way of Greater Lima. And then we have member announcements. So thank you all for getting up early, turning on your technology and joining us. I've got a lot of news for you. Do I have one waiting? Jessica is still joining. Okay. Sorry if I get distracted. All righty. So I guess the first thing for me to fill you in on is we had a really great Discovery Day on the 26th of September. I set up shop in the alleyway next to the Presbyterian Church and handed out Bluffton, Explore Bluffton guides and took tickets. At 12 shops, if you spent $10, you got a raffle ticket. And we did a drawing for Bluffton bucks. First prize was 100, second prize was 75, and third prize was 50. And we had 363 people turn in tickets. And our prize winners were just really thrilled to win their Bluffton bucks. And it was a great experience. We had a great day. We also are doing a fall decorating contest for bragging rights. Ooh. Hi, Jessica. I don't know why I suddenly started echoing there. You can go on Facebook, go onto the Chamber's event and vote for the business that you think is best decorated. You can also add businesses as well. If we don't have a business on there that has beautiful decorations, you can put that on there too. And I think currently the Curling Iron and the Curling Iron and Town and Country Flowers are battling for first place currently. So go ahead and get on Facebook and vote for your favorite decorations. Next in line for our Bluffton merchants will be the holiday open house on November 6th and 7th. And I'm excited to say that our mailing deadline to get a flyer together is today. And I was concerned yesterday that we wouldn't have enough participants to make that go, but it is happening. I believe the artwork is into promo hits. I've been working with Teresa. She's been really fantastic about this last minute scramble. And so close to 4,000 homes will get a mailer about the Bluffton Holiday Open House on November 6th and 7th. If you want to join in the discussion about those kinds of activities, we have Bluffton-merchants at Google Groups, and you can get in on the announcements of what's happening. All right. Oh, I wanted to mention, Dave Stratton offered to bring PPE kits to Bluffton. The Allen County Economic Development Group had these with the help of Jobs Ohio. And I have at least, I think, 10 businesses who have requested them. I think I have a couple spares, and that's masks and hand sanitizer. So I will be calling those businesses today and getting those to you. Thank you, Dave, so much for bringing those to Bluffton for us. Oh, shoot. I am also working on a tear-off flyer. But where is it? I don't know if you remember, last season we had these pads where you would tear off a flyer, and they were all event-based. Well, we don't have the events to promote right now, so we are working on updating them with an expanded list of food, shopping, leisure, and services with a map on the back. Because I found that some businesses, they're hanging on to the old expired ones where the dates are long gone, but people really love being able to say, oh, well, you need to go to, you know, this place, and it's the address is here, and then you can take the map and make an X on the map and show them where it is. So if you're interested in distributing or perhaps sponsoring, because we haven't quite figured out how we're going to pay for these yet. If you're interested in distributing them or sponsoring them at your business, you can give me a call or an email.
So Paula, just wondering if somebody does sponsor, we will put their logo on that? Is that what
we've kind of rearranged it so that we have room down here under the map where we could put a sponsored by. So good question, Connie. That's how that would work. Yeah.
So everybody would be getting, everybody that gets it hands-on would be getting their advertising. So
exactly.
It'd be a good thing to advertise in. Thank you.
Yeah. And so if you let me know if you're interested in having those in your business, that will help us figure out how many we need. Okay. All right. So that's all of the basic stuff. What's left for me every fall, the big deal is always the blaze of lights. And even though we are not able to have a parade this year, there is just a great deal of opportunity and fun headed our way. Our theme this year is you can't stop Christmas from coming. It's a concept from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. In the end, no matter what horrible things he tried to think up, he couldn't stop Christmas from coming, and that is so true. So this year we are on the Ohio Holiday Lights Trail again. They have a great map, and Bluffton is on it. We're going to have, you know, the village decorated from head to toe. We're going to have our residential lights map. We're going to have music downtown. Couple of our new things are we will do a video recording of Kevin Gratz as the town crier. We're going to do some video about the Ream display. We're creating signs for the I-75 exit saying, you know, turn right, blaze of lights. And so we, with my chamber board, we are working on all of these innovations, and we're working on a budget. If you would like to contribute to the blaze and some of these things, like we're going to have to hire someone who really knows video to help us with the video. We'll need professional help with that. You know, please let us know if you can support it and make some of these changes happen. We'd really appreciate it. An idea, I met with the village's Cultural Affairs Committee, and they have, I think, a really wonderful idea for downtown decorating. And we're asking that all of our businesses put a Christmas tree in their window. Now, Chrissy from the etceterashop wrote to me, and I said, okay, you have a lot of windows. You don't have to literally have a Christmas tree in every window, but actually a Christmas tree in every business. It would be a really beautiful sight, in addition to the wonderful decorations put up by the fire department, the garlands, the light pole decorations. We think the Christmas tree in every window will be spectacular. So on November 28th, the idea is to really spread visitors throughout the day. The OSU Michigan game is on December 12th. It is not on Blaze Saturday. So we will be working on Shop Small Saturday promotions. We'll find out if there is a way to do a socially distanced Santa. We're working on that. Santa says he's very interested in coming. And so we'll see if we can find a way to make that work. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Hey, Paula, has there been any talk? I saw someone, and I can't remember where I saw it at, did a reverse parade. So the parade stands still, and then you can drive by in your car.
I met yesterday with my Blaze boosters from the chamber board, and we're talking about doing a driving tour of the residential lights, where you can decorate your car, you can bring your golf cart, you could drive, a decorated, pickup truck. It would be a longer route. We're working on that possibility. I think that that could be really fun. And we're talking about a number of other things, maybe a drive-in movie, maybe something with where we have a Grinch character. We're working on a bunch of things right now to see what we can get done, what's feasible.
Great.
It's very hard to do things the first time. I heard in Detroit that they're having the parade to put on TV, and they're not telling people where the parade actually is because it's only for TV. I don't know. So sometimes it really takes a bit of doing to get these things to work. So we're trying to figure those things out.
Great. If anybody at the meeting here has any kind of ideas that you could throw our way, that would be wonderful. Or even want to help, that would be great too.
Yeah, we can always use some brain power and some people power. That would be great. Yeah. All righty. So now to the primary reason we're here, which is to meet Derek from the United Way. He's going to tell us all about their organization, which is now our organization, because Bluffton has joined the United Way of Greater Lima. So good morning, Derek.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. First off, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to just share a little bit about the United Way in our community. And I would just start by just saying it's great to see so many familiar faces. If you don't already know, I am an alumni of Bluffton University, and I have served as the director of admissions for some time with them as well. And it's been about, I think, 6-7 years ago now that I was serving as the director of admissions, but I really enjoyed my time there, and it's a pleasure to now with United Way also serve the Bluffton community. So just really thankful to be here. Today, really what I wanted to do is just tell you a little bit and share a little bit about the United Way first and foremost. What do we do? Who are we as an organization? Then I thought we could talk a little bit about the Bluffton merger. How that kind of came to be, and some of the decision making behind that. And if any of the Bluffton board members want to jump in that section to share a little bit, definitely can do that. And then I'll talk about some of the challenges we're facing this year, because this is obviously a very challenging year for everyone. And then I'll wrap it up with why I believe the United Way is so important and so worth investing in. So starting with that, who are we and what do we do? The United Way is one of those organizations that have been around for over 100 years. And individuals, though, I think, over time have kind of lost connection with really understanding what the purpose of the United Way is. One of the questions I always get is, you know, why wouldn't I just give directly to the agencies? Why give to the United Way? Well, the United Way, our mission is to improve lives by uniting the caring power of our community. So our whole goal at the United Way is to look at needs in each community and then try to determine what programs do we need to bring together and what agencies do we need to bring together to be able to meet those needs in the community. And I think one of the things that's really interesting that a lot of people don't realize is United Ways, even though we have this kind of big brand, right, national recognition, we are all our own local entities. So each United Way is its own charity. It's its own 501c3. We have our own tax identification number, but we belong to a bigger membership group. And the reason that's so important is because of that local impact. So if I was to give you an example, probably the best example I can give you is thinking about like education. We always want to make sure that we're providing a great education for all of our students. And let's say we were trying to improve maybe graduation rates. Let's just take that as a need. I mean, we can choose any, but let's just take graduation rates. In order to affect change in an area like education or graduation rates, we know that you don't do that just with education. Obviously, education is the primary goal or the primary thing we want to address, but we also know that students shouldn't go to school with a hungry belly. We want to make sure that they're well fed. And so we have programs that deal with that and provide food through the West Ohio Food Bank. We also want to make sure that students have proper mental health counseling. And so we have programs that address that in schools and teach kids how to deal with any problem they have and coping skills. And then we also want to make sure that we surround students with proper mentors because we know the power that mentors have in their life. So the power of the United Way is that we look at issues and challenges, whatever it might be in a particular community, and we look at it in a broad sense and we say, how do we bring multiple nonprofits together so that we strengthen programs and begin to move the needle in those particular challenge areas that we might be facing. As I talk about kind of the who we are, I think it's really important for us to talk about that Bluffton merger. So this actually began about 2 years ago. We started to just have conversations with the Bluffton United Way, just kind of more out of partnership, saying, how can we work together to most effectively serve our community? And one of the challenges that was starting to be faced by the Bluffton United Way was just the cost involved, the administrative cost, whether that be through United Way worldwide dues, and just the overall cost and the logistics to be able to go through all of the necessary requirements, membership requirements to be a United Way. And we really saw that we could help in that situation, that we were able to be of assistance. So to give you some ideas, the Bluffton United Way would raise between like $23,000 and $26,000 each and every year. But the United Way worldwide had some dues structures, and it was going to cost nearly about $4,000 to $5,000 just for administrative costs. But the blessing that we had at the United Way of Greater Lima is we have an endowment. It's called the Bacc Endowment. Bev was a longtime director of the United Way, over 40 years was the director in Lima. And so we have this endowment that offsets all of our United Way worldwide dues so that 100% of the money we raise in this community stays in this community. And so the blessing was that we not only had enough to cover our dues, we realized if we come together, we had enough to not only cover the dues, but all of the administrative costs that Bluffton faced on a regular basis. And so when we started looking at that, we said, well, that $3,000 to $5,000 that was being spent on administrative costs, and was thankfully being donated by many local businesses. We're really thankful for that support. But we realized that we could have that completely offset, so the donation those businesses were making were no longer going to administrative costs, but now we're going out and to make a real impact in the community. And that's what we want all of our dollars to do, to make that impact. And so it began to just make sense to say, hey, we really should come together in this. And I just want to assure everybody, this really was about us coming together. You know, unfortunately, our name, United Way of Greater Lima, everybody only thinks of Lima. Well, I can assure you, I care deeply about our entire county. I grew up and I still have family in Delphus. My kids go to Spencerville, and I attended Bluffton University. I genuinely care deeply about our entire county, and everything we do is about how do we really make that impact in our entire county. And so what we did at the United Way, we worked very closely with the board at Bluffton. And we said, you know, let's set in some things, some practices or general principles that will help us continue to make an impact in Bluffton, and greater impact in Bluffton for years to come. And so we guaranteed funding for 3 years, because we have 3-year funding cycles at the United Way. We guaranteed funding for 3 years for all of the Bluffton agencies. So that includes the BFR, the hospital auxiliary, the Bluffton Community Emergency Assistance, the Community Preschool, Children's Developmental Center, the Senior Citizens, and Weekday Christian Education. So we guaranteed funding for all of them. And then in addition, we said that savings that we're going to make in the administrative costs, we're also going to reinvest that into Bluffton, so that what you're normally getting, you're actually now receiving more, and we're able to make a greater impact in the Bluffton community. In addition to that, we also are very thankful. Melinda joined our organization in a volunteer role. So she was on the board, and she is serving as our Bluffton community chair for our campaign. You may have seen her name on some mailings that went out, I think, a couple weeks ago. We're also committed, Melinda and I have had a lot of conversations about getting additional mailers out that really just focus on the merger, just to continue to communicate that change, and we're working on that right now. And then in addition, I've been talking with Dr. Wood at the university about potentially serving on one of the committees on our board. So, and we're working towards we'll have a full-time board member in the future. The problem is right now we just, we're at max capacity with our board limits, our board members, excuse me. And coming up at our end of our next fiscal year, we will have some spaces on our board. And so we will be bringing Bluffton members directly onto that board as well at that time. So really excited about the change. I think it's going to help our community and help us make an even greater impact in our community in the days and weeks to come. I'll pause just for a moment before I go on to the other things. Dwayne or Melinda, do you want to share anything about some of those changes that occurred?
Well, we knew that we were struggling financially because of our size. And when we first mentioned possibly joining with the Lima, Melinda heard about that, and she was quite upset that we were going to be leaving Bluffton. And so that's when she joined, and thank goodness for Melinda for doing that. She was the one who got us doing lots and lots of thinking. She had great ideas, and I'm certainly glad to see that she has joined as a member of your board up there, and one of our Bluffton representative. I also would really like to thank Erin Burkholder for all the work that she did. She was instrumental. She had worked for Derek at the director of admissions, and when he left, she became the director of admissions. So she worked directly with Derek in order to get it with a lot of the communication and a lot of the connections that we had with Derek and Bluffton. So we continue to have great ties. And for those of you that weren't here when we first joined this morning, Derek was one of my students at Bluffton University, so I've known him for quite a while. So yeah, but really would like to thank Melinda. So thank you for what you've taken over there, Melinda.
Sure, and I'm enjoying it. I'm learning a lot about the United Way that I didn't know. And I was interested in, one of the big things that I was interested in hearing about was how much they work to bring their organizations together to benefit people and to benefit our areas. And I think, Derek, you can speak to that more than what I can, because I'm still learning. But that has been the greatest interest to me, to be able to really see, it's not just, you know, putting money out there and hoping that fixes it, but to being able to bring those groups together to really help people who are in need, and making those dollars go farther than what they could otherwise. So that's been the biggest thing that I've been impressed with.
One of the things that really will stick with me for my entire life is Don Schweingruber always said, life's all about relationships, right? It's all about relationships. And I love the bench that we have there at the university that commemorates that statement. But I think this coming together, it was all because of relationships, right? It was because of the relationships we had together as a community, and we had the best interest of Bluffton and our entire county in mind, and just coming together, it's really going to help a lot of people, and we're really thankful for that. So I'll just fast forward kind of to piggyback on what Melinda was talking about. We've had a lot of challenges this year. In between my time at the United Way and Bluffton, I actually served as director of the Red Cross for our community for about 4 years. And one of the things that I've learned is that during that time is that disasters disproportionately affect marginalized populations. And we've seen that with COVID. COVID is a disaster. It has impacted so many people, and has created so many challenges for organizations and businesses. And the one thing I'm really proud of, as I mentioned, our mission is to improve lives by uniting. It's about bringing people together. When COVID struck, we brought together somewhere in the neighborhood of over 60 organizations from all over our region and our county to be able to begin to meet to find out what are the needs in our community, and then how do we meet those needs collaboratively. And anytime we can do things collaboratively, we're not duplicating services, so money goes further in our community. And I think one of the really cool projects that came from that was Procter & Gamble came to us and they said, we can produce hand sanitizer for the community, but we don't know who needs it or how to get it out to them. And so they came to us, and the United Way is so uniquely positioned to respond in these kind of moments because we have corporate partnerships and faith community partnerships, nonprofit and government relationships, so we can pull people together. And so we worked with our EMA in our county and our local hospitals and firefighters, and we were able to distribute, this is insane to me, we were able to distribute around 2,600 gallons of hand sanitizer, including we were able to most recently get all of our school systems, including Bluffton, around 1,000 bottles of 16-ounce hand sanitizer to help them during this time. So there's many more stories like that, but it's all about bringing people together so that we can better serve our community. And really during this time of COVID, it's created challenges, but it's also created some opportunities internally. And one thing that I'm very proud of is we will always do everything in our power to be the best financial stewards of our resources in our community. And our board and I have looked over the last 18 months since I've been there, we've made many internal changes to become more efficient, and that efficiency has driven more funds into our community. And through those changes, we're going to be able to reinvest around $150,000 additional dollars from last year to this year. And that change has led us to be able to support 19 agencies last year. And now we're supporting 33 agencies from all over our community. So incredible growth, but it's because we really take this extremely seriously, that every dollar we spend is all about how do we invest the most in our community to be able to make a difference. And so I'll just leave you with 3 quick reasons why I believe the United Way is worth investing in. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those at the end. The first and foremost is because of what I like to call collaborative impact. We know there are so many great organizations out in the community, but we often encourage people, even small investments, while it might not seem like a big deal to you, makes a massive difference when multiplied over our community. In fact, you would be surprised at the number of donors we have that only give $1 a paycheck. But when you multiply that over our entire county, we're able to invest about $1.6 million into our community each and every year. It's incredible. Collaboratively, we can have impact in this community. The second is multiplication. A lot of people, I asked that question earlier, people ask me all the time, especially coming from the Red Cross. They say, why would I give to the United Way when I can give directly to the Red Cross or Salvation Army or BFR or whatever it may be? The main reason I always tell individuals is because of multiplication. We often can multiply dollars through state and federal matching dollars. In fact, we have a program that serves the Bluffton community. It's a transportation program called Find a Ride that gets seniors to key medical appointments that they need. In fact, those outlining communities that I mentioned in our community or in our county, I believe they per capita have more people using that service than the individuals in Lima. But what we're able to do is for every dollar donated to that, we're able to quadruple it. So we're actually getting $4 from our state and federal in matching dollars. So an incredible program. We can duplicate or multiply those dollars. But also I would draw on my Red Cross experience. Melinda mentioned about those partnerships of bringing agencies together. When I was at the Red Cross, we used our United Way partners all the time, and that helped our dollars go further because the United Way supports direct client assistance in the case of a fire, so the funds that they get. But when we were at the Red Cross, we would often direct our clients to our other partner agencies like the Goodwill and Salvation Army. And so those dollars weren't being spent in retail, but they were being spent more efficiently through our partner agencies, which just help those dollars go further and impact those families that much more. And the final reason that I would share with you is because our United Way is 100% local. We are made up of local individuals all over our community, our volunteers, our board members. All of them are local individuals that live in our community and see the needs of our community each and every day and are about investing 100% of the funds we raise right back into our community. And so I would just ask if anybody has any questions about the Bluffton merger, about the United Way or what we do. We'd be happy to talk about that further.
I know one question that I have had, Derek, and I've had people ask me if when they donate to the United Way of Greater Lima, if they can still designate how they want that money or what organization they would like that money to benefit.
Yeah, we always honor designations. And when I talk about designations, I always encourage people, we don't like actively or publicize designations or encourage. And here's why. if we had like 100% designation, I will tell you the organizations that are going to get all of those designations are going to be the big nonprofits that have marketing dollars that everybody knows about, like the Red Cross, for instance, or Salvation Army, the West Ohio Food Bank, all these big organizations. And we have a lot of small nonprofits that are doing incredible work. We have a senior citizen center here in Lima that serves a huge area in our region with this program called Rock Steady Boxing. It's for Parkinson's patients. It's one of the few in the I almost said in the region. So we're talking Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, all of these states. It's one of the few in all that area, but it has been shown to slow the progression of Parkinson's. Phenomenal, but most people don't know what Rock Steady Boxing is. And there are many other great nonprofits that are small or small programs that people don't know about. So definitely, to answer your question, if individuals want to designate, we definitely encourage that. Just all you have to do is let us know, either on your check or your pledge form, who you want to designate to. And the way we are tracking it is we do have a Bluffton division, so we are keeping those funds separate. But there is some carryover, right? So Bluffton United Way supported Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, in the American Red Cross. But we are tracking all of that so that we always honor donor designations.
So Derek, how do these small nonprofits become an organization supported by the United Way?
Yeah, so we have an application process. We fund every 3 years, as I mentioned earlier. And the reason we've chosen to fund every 3 years is because we don't want agencies having to guess from year to year whether they're going to be receiving funding. We also know that the goals the agencies have often take longer than just 1 year to achieve those goals. So we fund on a 3-year basis, and agencies can apply. We're in the first year of that funding cycle, so there's 2 more years. However, we also have, I mentioned the endowment that helps offset our operating expenses. We're also blessed with another endowment, the Cross Innovation Fund. And so what that's done is that's meant as kind of like a stopgap for new agencies or new programs to the community. They can apply for funding and receive funding through that innovation grant for those years leading up, so they don't have to wait. We don't want a great new program to start. They need funding and they can't get funding for 3 years or 2 years or whatever, however much is left in that cycle. So it's an application process, and we're always trying to get that out in the community so that the community's aware that, and nonprofits are aware that that's open for funding.
Any other questions?
I might just add this to go along with what Derek's been saying. In Bluffton here, we had each year each agency had to request a certain amount of money, and then that we would make the budget depending upon that. But in Bluffton, our agencies were so intertwined that the representative from that agency would often be kind of hesitant to ask for a lot of money for their organization, because they and their kids were involved in all of them, and they didn't want to take the money away from the other organizations. And so I think what Derek's saying here is that the money seems to go a lot farther. They can do many things that we were unable to, and so but I was always impressed with that. Our representatives would be hesitant to ask for a lot of money because they didn't want to take away from the other agencies here in Bluffton of which they were involved.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to mention as far as fundraising goes, one of the unique things that we're doing this year is, and this is just because we have staff where we can do these things. Right. Bluffton primarily raised all of their funds through a direct mail campaign. we will be running, and this is what Melinda and I are working on, we are going to be running in multiple businesses in the community. And we appreciate, I know there are many organizations and businesses on the line here that are considering that or have committed to already run. And we greatly appreciate that. And that's where the majority of our United Way funds come from, is through workplace campaigns. We're still doing the direct mailer, and right now I haven't checked since yesterday, but we are getting things in at different times, but we've got about 5,000, so we're about a quarter of the way there through individual mailers so far from the Bluffton community. So we're so thankful for the Bluffton community and stepping up and really helping meet those key needs in the community.
Yeah, maybe this would be a good time to mention, I have put the 2020 campaign link in your agenda. It's on the Explore Bluffton website on the breakfast page, and there is a donate button. If you have misplaced your mailing, or maybe you didn't get one or whatever, we have the donate button, and I'm sure we're all thinking about that this morning. Anything else, Derek, any other resources or things for us to watch or read?
I would just say that, we know that Bluffton is a word of mouth community. And so if you hear individuals, ask questions, please feel free to pass them to Melinda or Dwayne or myself, Aaron, or feel free to just kind of inform them about some of the things you learned about today. We would greatly appreciate any of your support in helping just kind of further that message. And we'll be sending out more and doing things out in the community, but we will be, we just appreciate any support we can have. Mr. Denneker, we are, Natasha, our resource development director, and I are following up right now. So we were waiting on some supplies, but we'll get that out to you soon. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, Derek, for that presentation. I know I learned a lot. I'm going to switch back now to show everybody who is here today. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to switch now to our member announcements portion. Just as a reminder, I am recording this. Please feel free to mute your audio if you're not planning on speaking at the moment. That's very helpful. And I will try and spotlight video for all our announcers. If I didn't hear from you prior to the meeting, you are welcome to make an announcement, and I will add you to Monday's email that goes out to all of our members. Okay, so first up, I have Kathy Fortman. Morning, Kathy.
Good morning. I don't know if can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very good. But first, I'd like to back up, and I'm this year's 2020 Putnam County United Way Chair, and we are in the process of sending out direct mailers right now, and I'm sure the Bluffton and Lima community is also. So I want everybody to pay attention to all the direct mailers that they're going to be getting through the mail, and read the letter. It's always a good letter that they put out, and send it back with a donation if you're not on payroll deduction at your employment. It's just a great organization of like he said, of improving the lives of others. And so many people are in need that you have no idea. So give generously.
Thank you.
And then the open enrollment, the medical insurance open enrollment is really important right now. With November 15th, the Medicare open enrollment starts. And then shortly after that, what is it? October 15th is the Medicare open enrollment. And then November 1st is the underage individual medical insurance open enrollment starts. For the ACA.
Thank you for the reminder. I don't know if you are like me. I find I am currently much more focused on, what's happening to me right now, or maybe tomorrow, next week, and next month. It just seems much, much harder to focus on those kinds of deadlines, oil changes, whatever it might be.
Or
So
contact our office. They've got all the information and deadlines. So just call the office there in Bluffton or the Ottawa office anytime.
thank you so much. Oh, and am I remembering correctly? Have you guys just moved?
Yes, right across the street. John, what's the address of the new address? It's right across the street from Luke's. My husband just yelled out to me. Yes, we could not obtain a contract with the place that we was at. I think he has better ideas or bigger ideas to do with the building. So we was fortunate enough to find the place across the street, and we have all the new lettering on the windows, nice and large, so you should be able to find us.
Fantastic, thank you. All righty. And next we're going to talk with Fred Steiner. Fred has an announcement. Good morning, Fred.
Hello. I have your Christmas present when you can't think of what to buy for someone this year. The Bluffton Icon is releasing a book called Bluffton Anthology, Essays on a Small Town. We've got about a dozen Bluffton writers who have submitted essays to this book. It's going to be printed this month and will be available for sale as soon as we get copies back. Some of the writers include Joanne Nicewander, Brendan Matthews, Carolyn Urich-Rich, Dave Essinger, Jeff Gundy. We have some former residents, Rick Ramsire, and Rick Emmert. So there are about several writers who have some interesting stories to tell. The book is called Bluffton Anthology, A Creek Runs Through It. And you can look forward for more information about that from the icon very shortly. Thanks.
Okay, so do I email you? Do I go on the icon? What's the best way for me to?
You're getting right now the immediate announcement, and details will be coming.
Okay, great.
All right. So
Wonderful. If you don't have one of Fred's books on your shelf, this is number
4.
Number 4.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate I'm not a Bluffton native. I have learned so much about this community over the last 20 years, but also through reading Fred's books. So highly, highly recommended. Thanks, Fred. All right, Shannon Service Club. Dwayne, you're up again. Oh, I can't hear you. If you unmute, that will take care of it.
There, is that better?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd just like to thank Derek again for what he's been doing and his presentation this morning. That was fantastic, Derek. Thank you. Yeah, the Shannon Service Club is sorry to make this announcement, but we've decided that we will no longer be able to conduct the huge community garage sale that we've been doing for 18 or 19 years out at the center last Saturday or the last weekend of February. And as far as we know, checking with the center, that those dates are available for anyone that might be interested in taking over the garage sale and the chicken barbecue that we've been holding all this time. That event started, I think, with BASO, the Bluffton Area Service Organization, 18 or 19 years ago. Some of the local folks at that time who aren't, they were a very young group. They started having children, they gave it up. So the Exchange Club took over for a while, and then when they folded, the Shannon Service Club took over, but we're going to have to be able to give that up now. unable to continue. So that's open for anybody. It's a great event, and we certainly will miss that. And I think you have that announcement, do you not, Paula?
I do.
That you will be putting in the in your announcements then too.
That's correct. Yeah.
Anyone have any questions about? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Anyone have any questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, that will be in our Monday email, our monthly update. And anyone who has announcements today, feel free to send me the text that you would like to have in Monday's email, any PDFs, any links. I will put that for everyone on that email. And now Sally Weaver-Summer is going to talk to us about volunteer opportunities. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning. Thank you very much for giving me this time. I am chair of the etceterashop Inc. board, and want to update you on some stuff that's happening there. Peggy Brown has been our manager of both the 10,000 Villages and book reviews. She has submitted her resignation. She and her husband, Mike, are moving to a community near Cuyahoga Falls. So we wish her well with that and thank her for her service to our stores. But that leaves us with a little hole in our operations. And Christmas time, as probably all of you could guess, the holiday time for 10,000 Villages is when we have our much of our business. So we really want to stay in operation through the Christmas season, and she has offered to help us out through that by coming sometimes on the weekends and stuff. But we need more volunteers to be able to keep that store open and available to all of you for your Christmas shopping. So I'd like to announce that we can use some more volunteers. We've already got a couple leads, but if you know of people who, some of your employees or people you know who would like to volunteer at actually any of our stores, etceterashop, because of the COVID-19 situation, also could use more volunteers. Some of our older volunteers aren't able to work during this time. So we have lots of volunteer opportunities, especially for 10,000 Villages during this Christmas season, but also in etceterashop and book reviews. So if you know people, you can have them, maybe I'll just say contact me at summerjs@bluffton.edu, and I will forward those names to the right people. So I'll have that in the announcement that comes out on Monday.
Wonderful, thank you. I know last, let me see if I can unspotlight you. Last December, I believe, I happened to be on the 3rd floor when your organization was having its Christmas volunteer celebration, and I was staggered by the number of people in that room. We have 3 shops in our community that run on volunteers. We've all benefited from that, and I hope that some of those people who have enjoyed those shops so much and probably know them so well can become a volunteer for now or for the future, because they're pretty fantastic shops. We're so lucky to have them.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Okay, and I also have Dan Clear this morning to say hello. Hi, Dan.
Good morning, Bluffton. How are you doing? Yeah.
Aren't you in Ottawa?
Oh, well, yeah. And actually, the sun is coming out now. Maybe you can see that. The trees blocking it, though. It's not good for solar, but it's really great for a nice day. Yeah, I just wanted to mention there's a tax credit is still available for solar installations. It's at 26% through the remainder of this year, and it drops to 22% for next year. So, and after that, for residential, it actually goes away to 0 under current legislation. And for businesses, though, it would stay at 10% even after next year. But we can still get projects done this year if anybody's interested in taking a look at it. But we're really backed up. It's been a really good year for me, even though with the COVID and so forth, we've got a lot of projects going. So I'm really glad for that and proud of that as well. And I also want to mention on a personal note, I'm looking for somebody to come and help me with my business. So if you know of anybody that's, and there's a number of people recent months that have been cut back. I know that Marathon example has cut back on some of their folks that may be interested in starting a second career. If they have a little bit of a mechanical mind, they don't have to know electricity. They just have to be able to work with people, and you know, I can teach them the rest. So, so if you know of anybody that might be interested in learning about solar and maybe helping to continue on a business after, you know, in a couple of years, I might want to retire. You never know. Again, so so we'll just looking for some help. I've been actually through this whole period been really busy, and I could use some help. So I'll put that out. So thank you very much, and Derek, thank you for your service as well. And United Way, I appreciate what all that you do as well. Thank you.
So that's Dan Clear, Superior Energy Solutions. Dan, what's your website or your email?
Dan at S-Energy-S. That's short for Superior Energy Solutions, senergys.com. Dan at senergys.com. That's my email.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other announcements this morning? Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I just wanted to mention one more thing on behalf of the village, and that is that Trick or Treat Night is going on. That will be October 29th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. On your agenda or your email, I have a Bluffton icon link that shows the guidelines. You know, masks are required, social distancing is required. Let's have fun in a safe way. If you think of something that we didn't talk about at the meeting before noon on Monday, I will add that to our monthly announcements. Otherwise, I will see you on November 13th. I have a really bad habit of like proofreading everything except for the date of the next meeting. So you may have gotten something that said November 9th, which is not our next meeting. November 13th is our next meeting. And we will have a Bluffton Center for Entrepreneurs annual report for our program. So thank you all so much for joining us. Feel free, I'm gonna stop the recording, but feel free to stick around for conversation. I can try the breakout rooms. We didn't really get a chance to do that last month. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.